Welcome to Kitab Writing Publication. So today we are having Meghna Sharma ma'am with us. Firstly, I would like to congratulate you ma'am for having your book published with Kitab Writing Publication. So how are you feeling ma'am?
Thank you so much. And this is my second book that I have got published with this set of team. I mean, earlier they had a different name. So I feel immensely blessed that, I have been able to do it once again. And writing is very close to my heart. So I just feel that, it's a tremendous feeling. I feel great. I feel blessed, and I feel very thankful to all the people around me that who keep me motivated, so that I can do what I want to do, and it really gives me happiness whenever I write. So yes, I'm really happy.
Great ma'am. So ma'am, firstly tell our audience about your book. Like what is it all about? What are they going to, read inside it?
Right. So, the title of my book is For the Love of Quotes.
Yeah.
And this I have written, the title itself suggests that the amount of love that I have for quotes. And I think not only me, today's generation is very frenzy about technology, and we are very fast going. So maybe we don't get that much of time to, read. Otherwise, reading is, see, it's a very beautiful experience if you have the time and all. Reading is very self motivating. I mean, you'll not need an inspiration from outside if you are a very good reader, and you'll get a hang of life once you start reading. But I feel that, quotes are something, summed up things, right? So that's what I've tried to do with this book. I have tried to sum up, the bigger things into smaller words, and that is what the readers are going to find in it. I think it's a very good way. Like whenever I write, whenever I get up, I write quotes early in the morning. That's a regime for me. So I think that's what I have, tried to convey to my readers, or that is what I wish for my readers, that whenever they wake up, one read of the quote and they are good to go for the day. So it's like that.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah. So
Thank
how did
you.
your journey of writing started?
Right. So, very interesting question, actually. And so, I used to be very fond of, actually, a friend of mine. She used to write very beautifully when we were kids, I was in third standard, and I remember very precisely. So, seeing her, I got this interest, that she used to write poetry, and the way she used to rhyme her words, and the way she used to do all these little things, that would really inspire me that even I want to write. And that's how I began. But slowly and steadily, how life progressed, I eventually stopped writing somewhere. When I was in my 11th, 12th standard, I had literally stopped writing. I did not give time to my hobby. And when I came to college, that's when I met my husband. And I mean, now he's my husband. Back then, when I met him, so he was the one who inspired me again. He said that, okay, this is your hobby. We were just discussing hobbies, and he happened to ask me that, what is your hobby or what interests you. And that was the time, I think, I got a break from my life, and I just, for those 2 seconds, I just realized that, okay, writing was also there. I used to write so well, and I mean, I used to get so much of happiness. And I told him about it. I said I used to write, and so he said that, okay, fine, you used to write, but I think you should start again. And he inspired me continuously every day, and I think till date he inspires me that, you should write, because not for any economic gain, or not because you are going to gain something from people who are going to read it, but because it gives you happiness. That is why you should write. And that's how I restarted my journey. And within a year of restarting it, I think I started working with Divya ma'am through her anthologies, and then I published my first book, and now it's my second book. Yeah, so that was
That's
my journey.
amazing. You have a really,
Thank you.
I mean, I would say it was a very beautiful journey to listen to. And yes, it's quite inspiring that even there are a lot of people who keep on inspiring us to achieve our
Yes,
goals. So, yes.
right.
Okay. Um, Now, as I see you, you're a very, calm and a very a soothing personality to say. And so I would like to ask you, do you believe in spirituality or something like that?
Definitely, definitely, I believe in spirituality, and I think that there lies a power beyond us which keeps us moving. You know, the power that we call God, and we worship our own different gods in their own names. But there, I believe that there is this one energy that is keeping us charged every day, and that is, keeping us moving. So I think definitely I believe in spirituality, and definitely I have this prayer regimen going on, and I do all of those things because I think that eventually all of us are also part of the supernatural. And here maybe we realize it, some of us might not realize it, but I think the bigger truth lies that we all are energies connected to a different higher level of energy. So definitely I believe a lot in spirituality.
That's amazing. So, do you believe in any, God to say, like any name of the God? Any?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
being a female myself, I resonate myself very much with the feminine divine. I think with Durga Ma, I just have that thing, I really feel that feminine energy whenever I worship Goddess Durga. So I think, yes, that is, and I believe that my power is coming from her. All that I'm able to do is because of her. So, yeah, of course, we have our local deities and everybody I worship, but the closest one to my heart is Goddess Durga.
Okay, so what are the qualities of Goddess Durga that you would like to have inside yourself, and you would like to, kind of tell to the people around you to have those kind of qualities?
See, I just think that all of us are manifestation of Goddess herself, okay?
Okay.
All of us naturally are going to have some quality or the other. Like, we don't need to work very hard for it.
Okay.
Even that a soothing smile from somebody, that's also a quality, and I think that is also a divine bestowed quality. So I think only that, strength and courage. If I think if we pray, or if we try to connect to the higher levels of energy at any level, start, no matter how small the starting is, I think we are going to feel. Certainly, I think I'm nobody to guide anyone to have certain qualities. I think it will come naturally to you once you start believing in yourself and in the divinity around you.
Amazing. Okay, ma'am. So
Right.
do you do anything apart from writing as well?
See, presently, if I talk, I'm a student only. I'm just like right now, I'm 23 years of age, and I'm a student itself, and I'm a homemaker. And apart from that, like right now, I have recently been married, so I'm just exploring my married life right now, and I'm really enjoying it. And apart from that, yes, I have a lot of different, like I'm trying to make my life right now through various things. Like like to write, I like to read also. I'd like to listen to music also, and I'm investing more on my hobbies rather than anything else right now. So presently, I'm just on a relaxing break, you can
That's
say.
amazing. Obviously, we
Right.
all need it, but somewhere we people just lack, working on our hobbies and on ourselves. We are just running into
Right.
a kind of race to get success.
Yes.
So at the end, we are just forgetting ourselves. Right. Okay.
Yes.
So, as you said that music is your hobby, so now I would like to ask you, what is music exactly for you? Like, do you feel some kind of connection to your, God or something while listening to music, or it is something else to you?
See, music to me, yes, of course, connection with God whenever we are listening to something spiritual, or let's say a bhakti song or a bhajan. Definitely, we feel connected to our powers. Definitely. See, music is something that gives life to the dead also. Music is that divine, okay? So I believe that whenever, no matter whatever situation is going on in life, listening to music has always brought inside me that energy, that a soothing impact. So for me, music is just equivalent to life. So my life exists only because of music. If there is any time that I'm free, or even if I'm working, if I'm cooking for my family, or I'm, sometimes even when I'm reading, I like to have something in the background. And especially, some songs are so, I mean, so tasteful and beautiful lyrics they have. So you just enjoy, you resonate so much, and you enjoy, and you just dive into another, whole another world. So that's my experience of listening to music.
Great. Okay, so do you see any difference in your life after and before marriage?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
There has to be a difference, I think, otherwise, life will be very boring. But I think the kind of love, support, and everything, it just multiplies after marriage. Having said that, I will say that everybody has a different experience. But if I'll talk about myself, I think all things have just multiplied. In terms of, yes, responsibilities have also multiplied, but so has the love and so has the support multiplied. So for me, marriage is my multiplier in terms of good things in my life. That's how I'll describe it for now.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. So, since you are a writer, so I would like to ask you, like, what is the basic difference? Like, what is that one thing which actually makes a writer different from others?
See, the fact that all of us are different entities already is making us different from each other,
True.
right? I might see a glass half filled and the other person might see it half empty. It's that way concept. I think writers are different. Yes, that's true. But I think that writers have a lot of similarities also. Like some people are going to write about, see what they see around themselves or their personal experiences. Others like writing satires, they like making, and there are some who are just going to write to grab attention. So I think there are these semi groups that are forming inside. But if we talk about differences, see, all of us are different. Like the way outlook of life or of everything else is already different. Like people are thinking differently, and that is why we have so many budding writers coming up, and people enjoy every writer in a very different way, right? We do not go that much by ki acha ki how they are writing similar चीजें हैं, so we are just stuck on that. No, every writer is different, and I think, even see, if I'm writing a love story and so is the another writer, yet people are going to read both of us because we are going to have a different outlook towards love, towards let's say our spouses, etc. So yes, writers are different from each other, but they are also, I think, they are more than different, they are similar, right?
So, what is life for
For me, life is like a mixed fruit salad.
you?
Sometimes it's going to be sour, sometimes sweet. But I think every flavor is very important for us. Like you spoke about spirituality. So,
Yes.
spiritually speaking, each experience that we encounter in our day to day lives is very, very important for us. And I think we should by far try and endure our circumstances, and only then we can also change life, as per our will. And let us accept it that not all chapters of life are going to be according to us, or what we had designed or what we are planning. Yet the beauty of life lies in the fact that at the end of it, life is your companion and it is going to make you win in the end, no matter in whatever arena. See, you might see somebody's money as success, but maybe that's not what your life wants from you. Maybe your life would give you fame. More than money, your life would give you fame. More than, maybe sometimes when you're just discovering yourself, that could be the path of your life or the purpose of your life. So I think each one of us, if we are patient enough to enjoy life, to endure life as it is coming, I think it is better, because life is going to make us win not the races that we are competing with other people, but what our journey is planned to be. We will definitely win in the end. So that's life for me.
Amazing. Yeah.
Right.
So what's your goal of life? Like what have you, thought of taking it to?
See, presently, uh, initially I was also very competitive, and like we all are. Up till college life, I was like that, and later, now that I have got married, and after my marriage, there's something that once I took this break, I have realized that I'm going to take life the way it comes to me. The difference is going to be made by how I will react, or let's put it another way, that whether I will react to a given situation, or whether will I respond to it. That is going to make difference of my life. So presently, if you ask me what are your plans of life, I'm really blank about that. Nothing. I will take life the way it comes, and then let's see where life takes me. Why should I be worried about where I'm taking my life? So life will come to me and I will respond accordingly, and then let's see where we reach in the end.
That's amazing. Okay. So, is there are there any personalities, which inspire you constantly to do something great into the life?
Yes, I think the first and foremost example that, like, whenever you talk about an inspiration for me, it has been my mother. Always. The way that lady has led her life from the scratch. She's from a very well off family, yet she did not take it as a privilege and just sit back and relax. She has struggled in her life, and she made everything for herself on her own. She's a very self made lady, and that is how I also visualize my life. That's, if I were to get inspired by somebody, it would be none other than my own mother, because I have seen her fall every day, grow every day, get up every time she falls. She doesn't give up only. That's what I have seen, and that's what I want to imbibe in my own life also.
That's amazing. Okay, so what are your strengths and weaknesses according to you?
Okay, that's a difficult one. So I believe that having this positive smile,
Yes.
that's the greatest strength that I have. That's what I believe, that whenever I'm also feeling low, I just stand in front of the mirror and I smile at myself and I say everything's gonna be fine. Don't stress out much. Right? Weakness, there's a long list. Okay? But I'll not tell all, I'll just say one of them, which is very important. I mean, this is the weakness that I'll improve on as soon as possible, and that is that I lack patience. I'm trying that I improve it. But see, whatever my journey has been, I believe that whatever I wanted now in life, I got it eventually. Anyhow, I mean, that's how the universe works for you. I got it. But I believe that I could have tasted each part of life a little better had I been a little patient. Sometimes in the hurry of a moment, or in the hurry to not miss out on something, we actually lose the magic of that moment. Sometimes we are just so focused on the result that we forget that the journey is also beautiful. So let's just enjoy the journey as well. So that's how.
That's amazing. Like this is one of the point I would say that we both think exactly the same, because when you talk about enjoying the journey, it's exactly what I also emphasize the most into my life. So,
Right.
okay. So now I would like to ask you, like from your life, what are the three, moments or incidences which have, bring about some kind of unforgettable learning into your life?
Uh, Three moments. See, every day we've been learning in life,
True.
but I think I'll say the first moment was, that comes to my mind presently, that in back in school I used to be a very good orator, And then there came this one time when I took part in a competition, and uh, I happened to forget on stage, and I just felt like a loser, and I just lost confidence in myself. No matter, I stood there, I spoke also after forgetting, but that blank space which was there in between, that made me go very low about myself, because I was at that point of time, I was just focused upon ki, acha, what teachers will think about me, what my what other people like my friends will think about me. So I could not get up from there. Like, this is a incident of class 11th, I think. So apart from after this incident in my school life, I was never able to face that stage the same way as I did before, right? Unless I came to college. Once I was in college, I started doing it again, and I think that is when I realized that it really doesn't matter. As far as you're trying, you're already a winner. It really doesn't matter. I just, in my college, when I started speaking on stage, I just realized that, had I not given up so badly on myself, I could have done what I did in college a year ago in my school itself. That's the first thing. The second one, while we were kids, we had, I'm from Shimla, so we had come for a trip to Chandigarh, and that's the first time that I saw the culture of begging. Prior to that, I was not used to seeing small kids, like really small kids, begging around. And that was the first time that I saw children begging. And we were having food, and there came a child who wanted that food, and we just said कि ये जूठा है, आप कैसे खाओगे, like हम नहीं दे सकते. And so the child managed to say that दीदी, झूठा है तो क्या हुआ, मुझे बहुत भूख लग रही है, मुझे खाना है बस, आप दे दो, आप डस्टबिन में भी तो फेंक दोगे ना, आप मुझे दे दो. So that made me realize that the kind of privileges that we have in life, we are often not so thankful for them. We just keep on complaining and comparing ourselves to to people who are higher than us in terms of facilities, etc. We will just always compare ourselves to them. But I think it's a much better idea to look at some people who don't have that much, what we already have in life. Having said that, I will attach to this only that the biggest privilege that we have in life is this body. Uh, when we see somebody who are not so privileged in terms of their body, yet they do not give up in life. I think they are far much better human beings than us, because they are happy with what they are, with who they are. They have accepted it, and they are doing far better than us in life, rather than us, where most of the privileged kids, we all complain. I mean, let's be honest about it. We all complain कि अच्छा हमारे पास ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है, and it could have been better if it was this way or that way. So I think that is also. And another one that I have learned now post marriage is that the more we try and try to turn situations our way, it is going to create a fuss for ourselves only. Sometimes we don't need to change anything. Sometimes we just need to accept it, and we need to move on in lives. So yes, those are my three incidents.
Amazing. These were all the three were very kind of interesting and uh, kind of interesting and learning experience as well for all of us.
Right.
Okay, so as you talked about in your first experience about public speaking, and it is a very big fear to say, like in almost more than half of the population of India and maybe in world as well. So, why do you think it is matlab, why are people so much worried about it?
See, because we fear people. This is the only answer that comes to my mind. See, we fear. See, public speaking is a very big thing. Even if you talk about people, na, I will tell you one fact that people are not even able to speak freely in front of their families,
Yes.
be it their parents, be it why? Because they fear the reaction that they are going to receive. And all of us are not so brave, or maybe the society has not made us so brave to face those reactions, that are going to come our way. Speaking on stage itself is a huge thing, because there is going to be the fear of facing approximately 200, 300 people, or it could be more, the number could be any bigger than this. But I think speaking itself scares of people. Speaking truth itself scares of people. When I talk about public speaking, of course, there are a lot of things. You fear the stage, you fear the mic. Uh, you know, I've heard people saying that when we were speaking on mic, we could just hear back our our sound, and we got scared because of that. So those fears are still okay, I mean manageable. But the fear that we have of people, that what people are going to say, what people are, I think that makes it very difficult for a person to keep their opinion only in the first place. And that's nothing to do with public speaking. I think that's got to do with speaking itself.
Yeah.
People I mean, I have seen this in my, I mean, you'll agree with me, people are not honest even with the near and dear ones, because there is this fear of facing criticism, or facing any such things, so person this is a person to person fear, not a very big one. Let's say we have so many great speakers, I mean, what are they doing? They really don't care what the crowd is going to say about them. Let's see, today we have this wide YouTube platform, and there are so many speakers who are speaking. See, they are not receiving positive only, na. They're also receiving the negative ends of it, right? Yet they are carefree, and they are doing what they are doing. They try to look at the positive side of it, that acha, agar hamari baat se, if 10 people are also getting motivated, or if we are able to change 10 lives also out of the 100 who are watching, that's more than enough for us.
Yes.
So I think the day a person stops fearing the another person, you can become a tremendously good speaker. So the fear is only of people, be it in the real life or be it on stage, whenever. So it's only the other people that we are fearing, that how they will perceive us.
Amazing. Great. So, do you also
Right.
read some novels or books?
Yes, I have been into reading, and I have read, like, initially we used to read. I read Chetan Bhagat a lot, like love stories, etc. And then I have also read, The Secret. I have read all of the parts of The Secret, right? And now I'm reading this Krishna stories by ISKCON, the ISKCON version of it. The people of ISKCON have taken it out, right? So I'm reading all those. I've been into reading, but yeah, as in when I get time, I don't really pressurize myself into it that okay, I have to do it only. Yes, as in when I've gotten time, I like to read. I think rather, because I'm not a very outgoing person. I don't have too many friends or too many. I just, after my dinner or after my meals, when I'm just idle, I like to sit quietly in a corner and take out and read something. So that's my take on reading.
So, what are the books that you might like to, kind of recommend to our audience to read?
Yeah, recommend. I will say that The Secret is something that all of us should read. I mean, that will help us to discover what great power lies within each one of us. And I will say that, yes, the Bhagavad Gita also. I will say that people must read it. I have read, I'll not say I have read it entirely, but I have read few parts of it. And I mean, they're really interesting. Also, I will say that there's this Swami Vivekananda's
Yes.
a book of quotes.
Okay.
That's also hugely that's a charger, I think. That really and that's for people. These days all of us are into overthinking, so might as well overthink the right things. We often
Yeah.
overthink the wrong things. Might
True.
as well ponder over the thoughts that you get there. And then, of course, I think the people who are fan of love stories, they'll have their own writers. But I think the fancies and love stories are also good. But if you want to read something real, these are few things that I like to uh, put forward that people should read.
Amazing. Okay. So now I would like to ask you, like, do you have any message for our audience?
My message would only be that be happy always. It's our life and it's our responsibility to be happy. And for our happiness, we should not depend on anybody else, be it anybody. And we should have our own companions apart from humans. Any companion that could be reading, writing, music, anything that brings peace and calm to our soul. Also, while doing all of that, being taking responsibility of your own life, being very self-sufficient, not at all means that we disrespect the people who are around us, because believe it or not, no matter how small amount of people you have in like number wise, no matter how small the amount of people you have in your lives, yet they are very significant in shaping your lives. So always have that regard and acknowledgement for people who are around you, and keep smiling. That's all.
Great. Thank you so much for this wonderful interview. And yes, I would also like to ask you one more thing.
Right.
Do you have any suggestion for our publication, so that we can also improve more?
See, I think for me, the experience has been very good. Okay. I'll say that we can work as a team. I mean, I also consider myself a part of this publication itself, right? So I think if we can in the future have some working, going for good promotions of the authors, whoever is publishing with us, because a lot of us are first time authors. We do not know the entire, like, okay, we write, we get it published. But now, the question comes that why will people buy our books?
Yes.
Why? I mean, there are so many writers. So I think if there is little push on that end from the end of publication, it will be really helpful to the writers. But otherwise, if I talk about my experience, by far it has been so good. And another thing that I would like to add on, that this publication is one which I have seen evolving only, and in very honest terms. I have seen them working hard day in and day out, and the team is trying to incorporate as much as they can. I mean, they are giving tutorials also, and they are doing every possible thing that they can to make a writer stand out, right? So I think only see, improvement has no end.
Yes.
Okay, we all need improvement,
Yes.
but I will say that by far the publication is doing very good. Yes, in the future, and as in how technology grows, we'll see the ventures like that.
Thank you so much for this wonderful interview. We actually got to learn a lot from you, and yes, you have a really pretty smile. So, thank you so much for this
Thank
conversation.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you.